Hello, good day everyone. So for today we're going to have factoring perfect square trinomials. So first thing is to identify whether the trinomial is a perfect square trinomial. So how would we know if the given is really a perfect square trinomial? So there are conditions to consider. Number one is that the first and last terms are perfect square. So the perfect square means its square root is an integer. So let's say 25. 25 is a perfect square because the square root of 25 is 5. Next is that the middle term is twice the product of the square roots of first term and last term. So when you say twice, it means you're going to multiply by 2. So the square roots of first term and last term will be the product of the square roots of first and last terms will be multiplied by 2. So that will be the middle term. And the last one is that the last term is always positive. Okay, so we're going to prove that this trinomial is a perfect square trinomial. So how do we do that? The first thing to consider are the first term and last term. So they must have a square root. So the square root of x squared is x. The square root of 4 is 2. Next is that the middle term. The middle term must be twice the product of the square roots of first and last. So the square root of first is x. The square root of last term is 2. Then multiply that by 2 because twice the product of the square roots of first and last. So 2 times x, 2x, 2x times 2, 4x. So check. It means that this trinomial x squared plus 4x plus 4 is a perfect square trinomial. Okay, next one is x squared minus 10x plus 25. So square root of x squared, that is x, so check first term. Square root of 25, that is 5, so check last term. Then the middle term is twice the product of first, so that is x, and last, that is 5. So 2 times x, 2x, 2x times 5, 10x. So check. The middle term is twice the product of the square roots of first and last. So therefore, this trinomial x squared minus 10x plus 25 is a perfect square trinomial. Next one. So let's check the first term. The square root is x. The last term, the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of y squared is y. Then for the middle term, this is twice the product of the square root of the first and square root of the last. So 2 times x, 2x, 2x times 3y, 6xy. So check. X squared minus 6xy plus 9y squared is a perfect square trinomial. Let's have an exercise. Decide whether each polynomial is a perfect square. Write check if the given is a perfect square trinomial and x if not. So these are the given. You can post this, then answer this, and after that, going to check. Okay, so I will assume that you're done answering, so let's check. Number 1 is check, that is a perfect square trinomial. Number 2, check also. The square root of 1 is 1 because 1 times 1 equals to 1. Number 3 is x, so why x? Because the middle term is negative. The last term, the sign of the last term is negative. So that's an x. Number 4 is also x. So yx, because the square root of, okay, number 4 is x because the square root of 25 is 5. Square root of x squared is x multiplied by 2, that is 10x, and the middle term is negative 5x, so therefore that is an x. For number 5, x also y, because the square root of 100 is 10 and the square root of x raised to 6 is x cubed, and multiply this by 2, that will be 20x cubed, but the middle term is 10x cubed, so that's an x. Okay, so now once you prove that the trinomial is a perfect square trinomial, we can now factor. So how do we factor perfect square trinomial? These are the steps. Number 1, get the square root of the first and last terms. And number 2, list down the square roots as sum or difference of two terms, as the case may be. So let's try. So get the square root of the first term. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of last term is 5. Then get the sign of the middle term. The middle term is positive. Then just write this as x plus 5 times x plus 5. Or you can write this in expanded form as x plus 5 times x plus 5. So that's it. The factors of x squared plus 10x plus 25 are x plus 5 times x plus 5. Next. This one, the square root of x squared is x. The square root of 1 is 1. Sign of the middle term positive. So x plus 1 squared. Or x plus 1 times x plus 1. Next, square root of the first term, x. Square root of the last term, 3. Sign of the middle term, negative. Then square. X minus 3 times x minus 3 equals to x squared minus 6x plus 9. Next, square root of 25x squared, 5x. 5x times 5x, 25x squared. Square root of 9, 3. Then sign of the middle term, negative. So the factors are 5x minus 3 times 5x minus 3. Next, square root of 4x squared is 2x. Square root of the last term, that is 4. Sign of the middle term, negative. So 2x minus 4 times 2x minus 4 equals to 4x squared minus 16x plus 16. So that's all for today. That is how to factor perfect square trinomials. Bye everyone.